All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is the part where I react to today's press conference. Deontay Wilder, Tyson Fury for their trilogy. I'll be honest, this is not a subject that I'm all that interested in because you guys know how I feel about it, that some portion of this was planned. What portion of it, I don't know, which is why I keep saying I don't know how deep the rabbit hole goes. You know what I mean? But it seems to me that there was some eagerness to have a third fight. I was goody Jay St. Peter. I mean, it's. I was goody Ralph. Was goody Country. Was goody Flip. So I saw the press conference. I'm not gonna dedicate too much time to this thing. I was goody Gatsby J. I'm not gonna dedicate too much time to this thing because I'm not actually invested or interested in the fight's outcome. I was goody Spotlight. Was goody. You had Malik Scott up there. Like it's like I don't know what portion of this to accept as reality. I don't know what portion of it I could look at and say that I believe what I'm looking at, because it seems to me like some effort went into ensuring that there was a third fight. Based on everything we've seen so far, at least one thing I'm confident about is that they didn't want to have the Joshua fight straight away. And it seems like a lot of effort now is going into trying to make it seem like, oh, well, it's Eddie Hearn. Eddie Hearn is the reason that the fight didn't happen, which is fucking bogus. Cause it's like, dog, that arbitration shit you had going on don't got nothing to do with that dude or his fighter. That don't have nothing to do with that. You trying to make it seem like, oh, we took too long, so the arbitrator decided we gotta. What the fuck do those two things got to do with each other? I was good, Alexis. I'm gonna shoot you a link, bro. I'm gonna shoot you a link and we gonna laugh at this dude. Cause I don't know, man. Like I said, I don't know what portion of this joint I can accept as reality. Like I literally don't know. Are you gonna watch it? I won't be. Yo, bro, I ain't putting no money up for that. I'm not putting no bread up for that. Like they're not getting my money. I want it undisputed. I didn't want to see this same shit again. To watch this dude, like, yo, you go to a press conference to field questions from the media. You got all these people running around talking for you. The YouTubers is talking for you. Malik Scott is talking for you. Shelly Finkel is talking for you. So that when you get in front of this dude, you don't got nothing to say. That shit come like I don't even know what to make of that shit. Alexis was good, man.
Yo, what's up, my brother? You chilling?
I'm good. I'm trying to process what we watched earlier today. I'm really trying to wrap my mind around it. And I'm like I don't really know. Yo no sé si yo debo aceptar que eso es la verdad. Que este tipo de verdad piensa that they cheated him and all this bullshit. Porque para mí, the whole shit looks like a novela. The whole fucking thing, bro.
Well, I gotta tell you, Jules, man. Listen, I've gone through my whole conspiracy shit before, especially with when Triple G did not, you know, that first fight. I really thought Triple G just wanted the second fight, and that's why he couldn't pull the trigger the way he usually looked. You know what I'm saying? So
I've heard that. I've heard that some people thought like you ain't the first person that said that they was like, yo, maybe Triple G took it easy on his cat so there would
yeah,
be a
yeah.
second fight
So
because they know it's a lot of money in another fight.
exactly. So right. So I don't I think that and I'm just gonna switch back to the original, the conversation at hand. But I just feel that for a guy like Triple G, who had turned down going to Kazakhstan to supposedly, realize his lifelong dreams of being the unified, undisputed middleweight champion of the world, right?
Hmm.
For him to have turned that down to get a Canelo fight that had the possibility of an even more lucrative rematch right attached to it, I think that it kind of takes away from your effort. Do you hear some feedback?
Yeah, I hear a little bit of feedback, a little bit.
Uh, I'm gonna turn off these. I've got these headphones on. Let me see what happens. All right, hold on.
I got you, I got you. But che, lo que yo voy a decir es que yo no sé.
Hello.
I hear you, I hear you.
There's no feedback now, right?
Yeah, there's no feedback, no feedback.
All right, good. So what I'm saying, so that's the whole thing. Anytime that you have the possibility of making more money on a second fight, it kind of like takes away. You know what I'm saying? It casts a whole thing. But looking back at how the second fight went and how Canelo has performed and how Canelo has, there are some fighters that just make other fighters look different. Floyd was one. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah,
What's his name? El mismo, the guy from Philly, the middleweight, Hopkins.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
It just kind of change the way you fight them and dull your offense. And Canelo has some of that. He really learned from Floyd. So getting back to this thing here, I've heard your take on this subject. I gotta tell you right up front, I don't agree with it because my view of this thing is this. First of all, I don't blame Eddie Hearn. Blaming Eddie Hearn is bullshit. You know what I mean?
Oh, bro.
But I will tell you this: that Eddie Hearn went into this negotiation and pushing for this negotiation, knowing full well that there was a specter of a possibility of them losing the arbitration case. And yes, Bob Arum can say, "Well, we got this under control. It's all great." Blah, 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 blah. There's still that possibility there. And
I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say this. The reason I'm gonna give you my counterpoint to that, right?
go
You
ahead.
gotta understand that time is money, right? Time is money,
Right. Yeah.
and you don't use that much of your own time. Que si tú eres Eddie Hearn, ¿verdad? You're not gonna use that much of your own time on something that you know could fall apart based on an arbitration ruling. To me, what I see is that assurances were provided that the arbitration would not get in the way because that's what we were seeing. But then once the fight starts getting to be finalized, you start seeing problems like they trying to drop you hints. Like I remember Bob Arum said, yo, this arbitration, it might turn into fight negotiations. Eddie Hearn was quoted as saying after that he called Bob and he was like, yo, is there something I need to know? And it's like, it looked to me like, it looks a lot to me like, yo, y'all was telling him, nah, it's all gravy. The arbitration won't get in the way. Go ahead, proceed as planned. Keep trying to make the fight. That's what I see.
Okay. So then I see what you see, but I also see it like this. I feel like there was a window where the arbitration, because what Bob Arum is saying is that if all of this shit was finalized like at a quicker level, then the arbitrator would have just awarded Wilder damages.
Y por eso, mira, te voy a decir algo. Por eso, that's how I know. Con eso, we are at odds when it comes to that. Because when I hear that, what I hear honestly is, yo, that's bullshit. The arbitrator don't give a fuck about you making a fight with Joshua. That's not. That has nothing to do with what the arbitrator is gonna decide to do. And from a legal standpoint, it's a lot of shit that from a legal standpoint it makes absolutely no sense. The only way that it makes sense that you having a third fight is if you wanted a third fight because you have grounds for a defamation of character suit and you did not pursue. You know that could have got you out of the contract. It literally could have got you out of the contract. Like, yo, this dude made a video and publicly accused me A felony assault. He's saying I put something in my glove. He's saying that he's saying all this crazy shit. He didn't prove none of this shit. No, I want out. I want out of this contract because this guy is defaming my character. And we don't get here unless you wanted to be here, unless you wanted to have a third fight. Of that much, I'm confident. How deep the rabbit hole goes, though, I don't know. But it looked to me like they wanted to have a third fight.
Okay, so that sounds a little bit to me like, honestly, no insult, it sounds a little simplistic. And it sounds a lot like the argument that was made for Teofimo Lopez when it was found that Top Rank had sent some emails to people, and he's like, "Oh, that's it. That's his way out of the contract because there was some emails sent." No, it doesn't go like that. You know what I'm saying? Nothing is that simple. So, but that's neither here nor there. What I'm saying is this: once it's established that this, and I think I really believe that there were stages to this. In the beginning, it was like, yeah, we're just gonna get out of this. But you know what? Even before that, because you know who had a really good rundown on this, man? I forgot who the fuck it was, man. I heard this podcast, bro, and the dude said it so succinctly in that he really said, like, Arum had to change with what Fury wanted, because at the beginning of the year or after that thing, they were all about making the trilogy. That's what they were gonna do.
Yeah.
Because they were gonna honor this contract, and then COVID hit, and then all this other shit. Then they had a fucking date, and then Fox and ESPN agreed that this particular date that they were gonna do it on didn't work for either one. See, that. Yeah, damn. I'm glad I'm remembering this because he explained it so good. Because at that point, see, if a date doesn't work for one party but it works for the other. So let's say it does. If it's Fox that says, or the PBC side, which is Fox, if it's Fox that says, well, that date doesn't work for us, but ESPN would have wanted it, PR would have wanted it on that date, then the fact that it couldn't happen on that date would be a viable reason to void that contract because we were ready to go, but you weren't.
But you got to remember, Alexis, you got to remember something, and this is pivotal, right?
All right, so good.
So the first fight happens. We know that Top Rank wasn't involved, right? Not with the first fight. They didn't get involved till the second fight, and
right.
it was a new deal because the old deal was voided. It was voided because the fight was scored a draw. So there's no two-way rematch clause that you can activate because there's no outcome, right?
Exactly.
So que cuando ellos hicieron ese contrato,
which is a mistake by the PBC, by the way, so they could have just included.
I mean, it was, yeah, but if you think about it, you go into the second fight and you sign on for 2 more fights. You didn't sign on for 1 more fight. You literally signed on for 2 more fights. There was a 2. Now that should be telling you something. What? If the first fight's a draw, right? Fury feels he got robbed. Why the fuck are you signing on for 2 more fights?
To get the fight.
Nah, bro, it don't add up. If you feel that they got you in the first fight, so you went over there to Top Rank to get some muscle, so they don't play you, right? So they don't play you, like, cause y'all played me because all I had was Frank. You got Al Heyman and all that bullshit over there, and all I motherfucking had was Frank. Frank can't help me, right? So I'm gonna go to Bob. Fuck y'all, I'm gonna go to Bob. So I goes to Bob, right? Get a couple $1 million in my pocket. Why the fuck would I sign on for 2 more fights?
Because they wanted that fight, man. Because you're acting as if this is a one-way street.
It's more along. All right. I'm gonna put it another way, Alexis. It's more along the lines of somebody, either one of them or both of them, wanted this to be a trilogy. You understand? They wanted to get 3 fight. They wanted to turn this into a 3-fight engagement. Somebody did, right? But if I fight a dude and I feel that I got robbed in the first fight, if that's how I feel, the next fight is the last one. The next one is the last one. Because I feel I won the first one, but y'all robbed me. Y'all scored a draw.
So
This
then
one
look at
is
it
going
this
to be
way.
the tiebreaker.
All right, so look at it this way, Julius. You're the PPC side. You're Deontay Wilder. You just fucking floored this motherfucker. You got out of that fight with a draw by the hair, the chin. You just saw this motherfucker get up again. Do you want to get this fight? You want to give this motherfucker another fight without a rematch clause? I don't think so. You know what I mean?
No, I dig what you're saying, that the PBC side might have covered their ass with the rematch clause.
Exactly.
And I dig what you're saying. But what I'm saying is, Fury, you fucking agreed to that. You agreed to that. Your people agreed to that.
Right, because it promised, right? The promise was that because you got to really understand that there was him getting up was that shit went viral, bro. Like that was they had the attention of a lot of people on that shit. You know what I'm saying? So it's a fight that was gonna make him a lot of fucking money. So you want to make that fight, and in America, you understand what I'm saying? So you want the fight. He's not gonna give it to you without a rematch clause. Now, what best you can do in your on your side, best you can do is, okay, you ain't gonna give me, you're gonna attach a rematch clause to this shit. But guess what? It's gonna be a two-way rematch clause. So that's why it was a very interesting contract, because here it was that Wilder gets the rematch clause, and usually it's only the A side, the champ with the belt, that gets the rematch. It's a one-way clause.
All right.
What they were able to do is say, okay, so you want the fucking clause, but you ain't gonna. Well, we're gonna make this a two-way clause. So now, because when you get into a negotiation, and I studied Bob Barbara. I should get Bob Barbaronology. What he adheres to is that every negotiation that's a great negotiation, it ain't a negotiation and it isn't fair until both sides hurt. Both sides gain something, both sides give up something, and then at that point, by making it a two-way negotiation, a two-way rematch clause, that was the hurt on their side, because now Wilder has to say, "Fuck this! If I win, I can't just walk away from this motherfucker. I got to see him again." You see what I'm saying? So that's the thing. So but that's neither here nor there. What we get to is this, right? So now this thing is done. The other part of this that I really just don't disagree with, I don't know, I don't think I've heard you say this part of it, because I've never heard you say shit like well, pay him some step aside money. I don't think I've ever heard you say that. Your shit was just more like you guys was fucking around and you never wanted up. That's your shit, right?
I'll say this. Look, I'll say this. It's simple. Because we don't legally, just from a legal standpoint, we don't get here unless you wanted to get here. We don't. Contracts have term limits, and even if you found a way, maybe there's a clause in the contract that allows the contract to still be actionable after the term limit is reached. That's entirely possible. It is. That's entirely possible. You know what's not entirely possible?
What?
You running around being on camera, calling me a cheater and accusing me of felony assault. Something like that could void a contract. I'm trying to tell you. Yes, it could. Tyson Fury's own father said on camera that they could have ended this entire thing in December, but the top ranked people chose to move ahead with it and still kept planning the fucking fight. Eddie Hearn said the same fucking thing. Now, if you know anything about John Fury, you know that This dude don't give a fuck about what Eddie talking about. He only give a fuck about his son. And what he's saying is like, yo, they trapped my son. They trapped my son. That's how he talking. They trapped my son. They could have walked away from all this bullshit in December. In December, coincidentally, Tyson Fury started calling out Anthony Joshua in December. That's when that shit started after the Pulev fight. So I'm thinking, well, all right, let's put a timestamp on this shit. You went into mediation arbitration in November. That means by December, it's already on. It's already started. In the middle of December, you start calling Anthony Joshua out after the Pulev fight for a fight. You're not just saying, oh, he's a piece of shit and he sucks. You're calling him out for a fight, knowing that you're in mediation arbitration. You knew that already because it started in November. So what the fuck are you doing calling this cat out knowing that Wilder wants a third fight? It doesn't add up. None of it adds up. And what I see is based on what John Fury said and what based on Eddie Hearn said, which is what I suspected. You guys wanted a third fight. You did. You could have walked away from. There's a lot of ways this breaks down, but you could have walked away from this. You didn't want to walk away from this. It looks to me like y'all always planned on having a third fight. You were waiting for the crowds to come back, and in the meantime, hey, let's make Eddie Hearn look like a fucking idiot. Let's do that.
Well, I think
I agree.
From that point of view, I think. If this man wants to say something,
Go ahead, Leo. Go ahead, Leo.
I don't know about all what Julius is saying about the conspiracy, the fight being fixed, but I think that Al Heyman and Bob Arum came to the same conclusion. It's too risky financially. Put all his chips on a fight with Anthony Joshua, because if Anthony Joshua wins, it's over. It's only gonna come to send contender after contender to try to rescue those belts from Matchroom.
Pero eso yo lo dije, Leo, eso yo lo dije. Que a part of this es que, ponlo tú, si Tyson Fury pelea con Anthony Joshua o Deontay Wilder pelea con Anthony Joshua y por si acaso Anthony Joshua wins, bro, they're fucked. They're fucked. Yeah. They are four-way fucked. They can't let that happen. Pero ya eso se sabía porque mira, from the very beginning, and you could go back to those videos from 2018, I said it then, you two dudes chose to fight each other because you don't want to run any risks with Anthony Joshua. You rather fight for that belt amongst each other than give him an opportunity to win it from you, because there was already an offer on the table for Tyson Fury, and we already know there was offers on the table for Deontay Wilder before the fight, before the first Fury fight, and after the first Tyson Fury fight. And the offers just kept getting bigger and bigger. You tell me that you chose to fight Tyson Fury for less money up front that was on the table for you to fight Anthony Joshua. That doesn't make sense for a fighter, but you know who that does make sense for? Al Heyman. Yes. That's the only person that makes sense for.
And now it does make sense for Bob Arum, because Bob Arum came to the same conclusion. If Anthony Joshua beats Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder, it's over for both of them.
They'll have control. They'll have control. They would have control of the heavyweight division for, I don't know, maybe the next 5 fucking years worth of contenders. And that's not good for Bob. That's not good for Al, because neither one of them want to send their fighters to fucking Matchroom for opportunities.
Can I just say something?
Go ahead.
Yeah.
All right. So I think that the advantage that Bob Arum sees in fighting Deontay Wilder, right? I think that the advantage that he sees in fighting Deontay Wilder is that, because I think that these people, they're viewing it from a positive standpoint. It's not if we lose or whatever. It's more like how much money can we make down the road, right? So it's always
Yeah.
positive, I think, right? So the
Now,
advantage
Alexis,
that I what
Alexis, wait.
but,
Let me say this.
but
Bob Arum has said himself on many occasions. I've seen this man say it a million times. Bob doesn't like to gamble. All right, he doesn't like to gamble. He said that on many occasions in many interviews. Fury versus AJ is a bigger gamble than Fury versus Wilder.
yes, but Wilder is right here on the table. But listen, just hear me out for a minute, because I think that you haven't thought about this one. One of the advantages of fighting Wilder as right now is that then because the Tyson, I mean the AJ fight is not a one fight deal either. It's a two fight deal, right? So even if AJ wins the first fight, they got another fight attached to it. But here it is. Again, and that's for both parties, a two way rematch clause. Okay, so the thing is, Bob Arum's deal with Tyson Fury ends in two fights.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, ends into this one and one more.
Mm-hmm.
If he were to go straight to an AJ fight, that would be the two AJ fights end. That's it. That would be, and then he'd have to renegotiate or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But if he takes this Wilder fight, it could end up extending the deal by at least one more fight. Want to know why? Because the Tyson, the Wilder fight would be that. Let's say he gets through the Wilder, then it would be a two fight deal with AJ, and any deal that would be struck while under top rank would include top rank for the second fight. That's it.
I'll say this. I'll say this. That's plausible. Don't get me wrong. That's plausible, right? But you're talking about a situation where the second fight didn't bring you no money. And I talk about it often. Bruce Trampler took to Twitter and he let it be known, which I've been saying for over 12 months. I've been saying it for 16 months. Based on the numbers I see, they didn't make no money. If those numbers checked out, you didn't make money, you lost money. Now, very recently, right before the arbitration, Bruce Trampler let it be known it was a flop, bro. They lost money because of piracy. They made a killing at the gate. They got like 16, 19 million at the gate, but they
17
lost
million.
but they lost a lot of fucking money. They lost a lot of money off of piracy. So you have to look at it this way. If I'm a business guy and I'm trying to recoup money that I've invested in Tyson Fury that I have now lost, I don't stand much of a chance of getting that money back with Wilder. So there must be some other reason that we're going into this because the money's right there with Joshua. The money's right there. Like you'll get your money back. You'll get your return for having invested in Tyson Fury. You guys keep choosing to fight Deontay Wilder. And the only way I can reconcile that is Joshua's too much of a gamble. You cannot let all the belts end up on Matchroom. And it's a Matchroom show. That's the other thing that's not being said. If that fight would have got made, that's not a top rank show, bro. That's a Matchroom show. Top
That,
rank is along for the ride, but it's
yeah,
a
but they would.
Matchroom show.
Yeah, but they would have retained the American TV rights. That's all they
Well,
cared.
they would have had that, but that doesn't make it a top
It would
ranked
have been
show.
no, but it
Essentially,
would
what
have
I'm
been,
saying,
but it would have been a pay per view in the U.S.
no, you're focusing on the rights for the fight. That's not what I'm talking about. What I'm
No, I
talking
know
about
what you're saying, Luke. I know what you're saying. It's a matching show. It's a
now,
matching
if it's
show.
a matchroom show, and let's say it's a matchroom show, and it's a close fight, oh, they're gonna swing at the fucking Fury? They are. They're gonna swing at the Fury, really? On a matchroom show? Yeah, fucking right. Yeah, fucking right. You better get fucking real.
I, I,
Or-
I, I, I honestly, my brother, I don't think that they don't. I don't think. I think that Tyson Fury, in their eyes, in many people's eyes, he's very heavily favored against AJ.
Bro, I'm gonna put it to you another way, and I've been saying this for a while now. everybody's perception of Tyson Fury is based on the Wilder fights. That's not the real Tyson Fury. I'm sorry to break the news to y'all, but no, that's not the real Tyson Fury. If you want to see the real Tyson Fury, you watch the Dylan McDermott fight. You watch the first Derek Chisora fight, the Steve Cunningham fight. You watch the Klitschko fight. He's a good boxer. I don't take that away from him. But you can look like a monster with Wilder. Luis Ortiz looked like a monster with Wilder. He didn't look like a monster with fucking Dave Allen. He didn't look like a monster with Malik Scott. Really, he don't be looking like a monster. He only looked like a monster with Wilder. Gerald Washington looked like a very capable jabber, a very capable stick and move guy with Wilder. With everybody else, he gets beat. And this idea that, oh, well, Fury's the favorite with the bookies. Okay, and why do the bookies have him the favorite? Because of the Wilder fights.
Yeah,
I
let's
think the
not.
bookies have him a favorite because of AJ's chin.
I don't discount that, Alexis. But my point is that the modern perception of Tyson Fury's boxing acumen is all based on the Wilder fights. Because before that, nobody was talking about him like that, dog. I'm sorry, but that's reality.
I mean, that's true. I mean, until he beat Fury, but you know, but what's his name had a inkling of who Fury was, though. Because if you remember when
Emmanuel
he fought
Stewart?
Fury, they tried to fucking do shit to this damn canvas. What's his name? Klitschko.
Oh, yeah. But
you're
right. You're right.
They tried to, and I just learned something recently that not only that I said like, damn, but I didn't know that fucking Fury. That Fury. The only reason why Fury got Klitschko, he was a man though.
Yeah, he was a mandatory.
Okay,
I think it was the WBA.
Because for a long time I held the fact that he didn't honor the rematch clause against Klitschko, but because I had no idea that he was a man though. You know
yeah, he was that much I knew that he was a mandatory. I knew that.
So then Klitschko attached the rematch clause to fucking Mando. So he tried to fuck with the goddamn canvas, and he attached the rematch clause to
Pero espera, Alexis, you can't act brand new. You can't act brand new.
I'm brand new to that one.
Ok, lo que yo te estoy diciendo es que eso no es vaina que él nada más se lo hizo a Tyson Fury. Klitschko was good for that shit for years, bro. He did that to everybody. Tyson Fury was just the latest guy. Like Vladimir Klitschko went as far as sparring. Damn near, he used to bring everybody to camp. Remember, he brought Dillian White into his camp. He brought Deontay Wilder into his camp. He brought Anthony Joshua into his camp. He brought Tyson Fury into. Did he? Yeah, I think he did. And it's like he was a strategist. Vladimir was a strategist. He was a tactical guy. That's what he did. And he used to fuck with everybody in little ways like that. It's not like he just started doing that for the Tyson Fury fight.
Oh, okay. Honestly, I'm not even really up on the. There was a dead period. Not when you started seeing me talking about boxing. I hadn't been watching boxing in a long time. There was a dead period. I just stopped paying attention to that shit.
Well, I'm gonna say this much.
What brought me back was Pacquiao and the Mayweather shit. That's what brought me back.
I'm gonna say this much, right? What was done to Tyson Fury was not an isolated incident. That was Vlad's shit. You understand? And that's all well and good because A-side going A-side. Every A-side has different shit that they did. That's just the truth. And motherfuckers need to stop looking at boxing with rose-tinted lenses because A-side do A-side shit, bro. That's why you earn that seat. So you could do shit like that. That's just the truth of life, right?
Yeah.
That's just the truth of life. Now, when it comes to when it comes to the Fury shit, this is my thing, right? This is my thing. Fury was never seen as this invincible boxer. He was an underdog against Vladimir Klitschko. He was literally a betting underdog. Vlad was the betting favorite. All of this invincible Fury shit doesn't start till after the first Wilder fight. And the reason I take issue with that is because many guys, there's a couple of guys out there, just a few, that they'll look formidable against Wilder. They won't look formidable against anybody else. Eric Molina landed a left hook on Wilder that wobbled him. And if you go off of that, you're going to think, oh, well, Eric Molina, oh, shit, that dude hit hard. He gets in there with AJ, he doesn't get to throw a punch. And triangle theories don't work. I understand that. but it's not exclusive. It's not exclusive to Eric Molina. It's not exclusive to Luis Ortiz. It's not exclusive to Gerald Washington. If you pay attention, guys go in there with Wilder and look good. They go in there with other people and they look like shit 95% of the time. So this perception of Tyson Fury, oh, he's a betting favorite against Anthony Joshua. Oh, you know, he's very capable, all this different shit. What is that actually based on? It's based on the Wilder fights. And damn near everybody looks good against Deontay Wilder.
You have a point. I think the gentleman wants to say something. Go ahead.
Okay. Let's suppose that Anthony Joshua fights Tyson Fury, and Tyson Fury wins. Do you see AJ making a comeback after that?
Yeah.
Yeah. If Anthony Joshua beats Tyson Fury, do you see
Hell
Tyson Fury
no.
make?
Hell, look, Leo. Yo lo dije muchas veces. Let's say the fight would have happened and Fury would have won all the belts. Fury fucking retires, bro. He will retire. ¿Tú crees que ese tipo wants Tony Yoka, Joe Joyce, Daniel Dubois, fucking Felipe Hergovic hueliéndole el culo? No. Él no quiere eso. That dude wants to do whatever he wants to do. Whether he wins a Joshua fight or he loses a Joshua fight, that dude don't stick around, bro.
Yeah. And I think Bob Arum knows that.
Eso se
Knows.
sabe ya. Mira, at the height of Fury's biggest win, what was then his biggest win, the Klitschko fight. Este tipo se fue porque no le gusta la manera que le están hablando, because UCAD lo está investigando. It was a lot of bullshit. It was a lot of bullshit. So no me digas tú que después if he has that fight, you think this dude is gonna stick around and satisfy fucking mandatories? Hell no.
Yeah.
Oh, he's not gonna do. But you know what? I think I see what you guys are saying. I could see him retiring, writing it off to the sunset. But I also see him. I could also see him, because you said satisfying mandatory. That motherfucker will drop a belt in a minute.
In a minute. You know that.
What I'm telling you is this. If Tyson Fury, remember, I think we had a conversation. I know I made a video on my vision of this, and we did have a conversation on how to get, how to free boxing from the clutches of these sanctioning bodies.
Yeah, we talked about. I remember that.
Exactly. So I think that Tyson Fury's the type of dude that would be able to pull off what I envision, which is that motherfucker says, I'm the champ. I mean, that nigga did it with a belt buckle, bro.
Yeah, bro, but you also gotta think about it too. You gotta think about it too, que ese tipo es un llorón, porque cuando estaba gordo y hueliendo and sniffing coke y toda esa vaina, que él estaba diciendo, oh, Joshua's not a champion. He took my belts. No, he didn't take your belts, bro. You gave them up. You gave them up.
He's talking, but you know what? Tyson Fury's the type of dude that needs to motivate himself, man. And he le cogió con Joshua. I don't like this one, but that was his motivation, part of it.
Lo que yo veo es, hay un canal aquí que se llama Boxing Beats and Rams, right? And Boxing Beats and Rams said it best. América no conoce a Tyson Fury. Ellos no lo conocen. Toda esta vaina que la gente están viendo, eso es pura mierda. That shit is an act, bro. The whole thing is a fucking act. Because up until recently, he wasn't this nice guy. He was like a gypsy Larry Holmes or some shit. Like you too controversial, bro. No wonder you don't want to fight in the UK no more. Nobody fucking liked you at that time, because you keep running your fucking mouth.
He says it. He said that's why he disowns UK. He says he only cares his price over there now. He said it himself. He owns that whole gypsy thing. He doesn't really have no alliances to a damn country, bro. That's what gypsy's all about. His alliances are to his people.
And he was running away because that's better scandal.
También es
Don't
like
forget
The
Right.
real reason, yeah, the
That's
real
why I'm saying
reason,
the fight could never happen in the UK. 'Cause I remember that he dropped his UK license.
the real reason for that, running away and all of that, a lot of people believe, myself included, it was because of the UCAD case. You can't ban me or suspend me if I
Right.
fucking retire. If I retire, then you can't. How you going to suspend a retired fighter's boxing license? How you going to do that? The dude's
It was
retired,
smart.
bro.
It was smart, and then he came back and he just whatever relinquished his license over there. He doesn't have a license in the UK.
No, he don't. He don't.
All right, so that fight would never take anybody. That's what I'm saying, man. I don't want to deviate from this, but you get these fucking boxing podcasts. Like you get these dudes that ringside reporter, and they talk about yes, that fight should be in the UK. And I said, these motherfuckers are like not privy to the same boxing news that I am. Like y'all can't fucking follow the story. Like y'all some stupid motherfuckers. Why y'all even bringing up and stressing shit
Neither
that
my
can't
name,
happen?
my name. I've heard, and I got love for Joe Habib. I got love for everybody, right? But I keep coming back to this point, right? The Thriller in Manila was one of the biggest fights in the history of boxing at that time, and guess what? It wasn't in America.
Right.
It involved two American heavyweights, but it wasn't in America. The Thriller in Manila wasn't in America. The Rumble in the Jungle wasn't in America. All right, so wake up, all right. And I wish Boxing Beats and Rhymes was here because he know more history about shit than I do about the golden era of boxing. That there was major fucking fights that did not happen in America. That shit is an illusion. That shit is a dream, bro. Just
Japan.
you
A lot of shit happened in Japan.
exactly like Akihiko Honda. God bless him. He's still alive today. That dude promoted a lot of fucking fights over there in Japan. The fucking Buster Douglas Mike Tyson fight. That shit wasn't in America. That shit was in Japan, bro.
Yeah. Americans have a tendency to not can't imagine things beyond the border, man. It's like, oh, it's not here. It doesn't exist. So that's why I really enjoyed that fantastic run that Usyk did, where he did that thing cruiserweight and went all over the country and all over the world. It was a beautiful thing, man. But it's not even. Let's get back, if you don't mind. It's your show, but
No, yeah. No, let's get back to the shit. And what I'm saying is this, right? What I'm saying is this, in a nutshell. There's three key points for me that lead me to believe that some portion of this is orchestrated. One, I see that there was a genuine desire to have a third fight, even though you've already lost money on the second fight. Bruce Trempler let us know that. You've lost money on the second fight, but there's still a genuine desire to have a third fight. Second point, John Fury. Forget about Eddie Hearn, because if you don't want to trust Eddie Hearn, fine, you don't have to. John Fury is saying the same fucking thing that Eddie Hearn is saying. Yo, y'all could have ended this shit in December, and y'all chose to keep going. Y'all chose to keep going. Third thing, Deontay Wilder out his own mouth, and I've come to this point many times. Ahead of the second fight, the press conference for the second fight, he told Fury, "Yo, I brought you out of retirement," and that leads me to believe that you got up with this dude before he even fought Cephas Furry and Francesco Pianetta. You two dudes got together and decided, fuck Joshua, fuck him. We both don't like him, and we gonna get this money with each other. That's what I see. That neither one of you never had no intention of fighting this fucking dude. That's what I see.
that's true. I can see that, but I think that Deontay Wilder brought Fury out of retirement, thinking that this fucking fat fuck, he's not known to be a puncher.
Yeah.
And I can go out and fuck up a big ass UK, big name in the UK without having to deal with Anthony Joshua.
Exactly.
And raise, kind of like, because at that point, I mean, Anthony Joshua, he had, I mean, PPC fans didn't want to recognize it, but Anthony Joshua was a fucking A side, and he was such an A side over Deontay Wilder that it wasn't even close. This shit could have been 70-30 split, really.
Bro, now, peep this environment. Peep this environment, right? You got a guy, right? You go into the first fight, you make a little bit of money. Because the funniest shit is the first fight sold less than the second fight, but the first fight actually had a profit margin. The second fight didn't, right?
Yeah, because the fighters were getting paid a lot.
Yeah, because they got paid a lot more money and it costed a lot more money to make, right? But the situation that I see is that why put the WBC belt on the line with Joshua? Why do that when me and you could play Salucci with the shit? You had your turn with the shit. Now it's my turn with the shit, which is why I don't even know if I believe what I'm looking. I ain't gonna lie. I watched the press conference, right? And I'm thinking like this is kind of in keeping with the bitch assness of Deontay Wilder. This is some genuine bitch ass. Like, oh, so you don't gotta answer no questions like your boy Al Heyman. So you don't gotta answer no questions. You gonna come out here with headphones on and you're not gonna talk to nobody. You just gonna sit there and pout. What kind of like that's some bitch ass. Like you don't want to face the music, bro. You don't want to face the music.
Okay, so let's. I'll make you. I'll make you a deal, right? Let's make a suggestion from let's act like we're starting the conversation from now, because everything that came before this point here, right? It was my view, your view, and this and that and the other, and it was like a lot of whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Let's act like we all just got on right now, and let's just focus on fucking Wilder. And
okay, let's talk. Let's talk. Let's
right.
talk. This is why we prefaced everything with what we already said, though, right? This is why.
Okay.
In order for me to look at Wilder as a bitch, like yo, all this, like yo, you acting like a bitch, bro, right? That would have to mean you really are a broken fighter. Your mic is bugging out.
Mine.
I don't know who mic is making all that clicking.
Mine doesn't.
All right.
My phone it sounds like it's clicking, but
I'm gonna say, look, in order for me, I watched Wilder. I'm watching this dude, and I'm watching the shit, and I'm like, yo, this some straight bitch shit. This is like all the other bitch ass shit I seen from you, yo. Like this is literally like all the other bitch ass shit I always saw you like. So you gonna come to a press? You know what a press conference is for? It's so you can answer questions and promote the fight, and you gonna sit there and not say shit. Christina Pancha with her cute fucking ass. She talking to you, and you not gonna respond, like you just gonna sit there and pout. That's the same bitch ass shit I always seen from you. So a part of me feels like, all right, maybe they always planned on having a third fight. Maybe that bit of it is orchestrated. But what actually happened, now that was real. You really got fucked up. You really got the shit beaten out of you. And psychologically, you don't know how to deal with it. So you're going to sit there with your arms crossed and pout at a press conference. And you got Malik Scott doing, like, it's not a good look, whether it's orchestrated or not. It's not a good look that Malik got to do all your talking for you, bro. We watched you get fucked up. These is the facts. We watched you get the shit beaten out of you and you got your belt took. That's what we saw. That meant that much of it is facts. And your response to all the allegations you made, all the YouTubers you talked to, your Tay Jones, all that shit, medical report, Denton Musco, Anvil in the gloves, all of that. Your response, when you finally get this man in front of you, you don't say nothing. That's some bitch shit. Like, so you're not even.
Listen. Okay, so me, I was like, I couldn't see the whole press conference. I did after the fact. I was working and after the fact, I saw the beginning of the press conference. There's some clips because somebody on YouTube, not YouTube, but Triller. Speak of Triller. somebody on. That's how I know that we be talking on Twitter. Yeah,
on Twitter.
This dude, he puts the clip of him that one of these PBC heads said, yeah, this is all he had to say. Cause there's not a twist in it. He came out and he said, "Yeah, you know what you did, whatever. I don't know. Now there's gonna be bloodshed. That's what I'm gonna say. Yeah. So they're trying to say like that was some tough ass move right there. Now see y'all, DK, whatever. Listen, what I saw, man, okay, was the guy that probably looked at video of himself after all the other press conferences. And said, God damn, that motherfucker makes me look stupid all the fucking time. Because Tyson Fury can talk a mile a minute and twist shit around and express it so he's funny, and then you come up trying to say some shit and you just sound stupid. And so he heard himself all these times. He was like, God damn it, I sound stupid. God damn, I sound stupid. I'm not even clever. Even when I try to sound clever, all I do is sound stupid. Right? So he said, I'm not gonna fall for this trap. You know what I'm saying? So the other thing is the fucking earphones, bro. Like, fucking giant noise
inmediatamente, yo lo dije en Twitter, man, inmediatamente, que no me diga que este tipo salió con estos headphones so that he don't have to listen to Fury.
He won't have to hear that. Wow. So ya tú sabes, man, que that nigga is saying right there, all that thing saying like, yo, this nigga is Tyson Fury's right. He said, Tyson Fury says, I got this motherfucker's balls, his heart, his psyche, his spirit, all in my motherfucking back pocket, bro. And when you came out with them headphones, bro, what you said is
confirmed it.
You confirmed it, bro. I can't hear this man's voice. I'm gonna play music through this because if I hear his voice, he's gonna fuck me up. And I won't be able to concentrate on everything that Malik, whatever the fuck his name is, trying to teach me.
Yo, listen,
go out
man.
the window, and I'm gonna lose all composure. I can't deal with this man.
Listen, man.
Sits there.
Malik sitting there crying, like, and this is where I kind of look. No, I'm saying, like, I'm listening to the shit, right? And Tyson Fury starts talking about how, yo, you know I bursted your eardrum, right? You know I bursted his eardrum, and I bursted your eardrum.
No, but wait a minute. That was cool because it was Malik who brought up the bursting ear.
That ass, though. He did, like, he said that
fighter,
shit.
Tyson. You're a good fighter, Tyson. You know, when you burst my ear, and then Tyson, oh, yeah, I did burst your ear, didn't I? Yeah, I'm a burst, and I burst his ear. Oh, my God, I'm two bursts here. Yo, that, dope.
Listen, lo que yo vi, because I'm looking at their body language, and I'm really trying to see, I'm trying to look, the whole time the press conference is going on, I'm trying to see if somebody's lying. Right? That's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for certain tells that'll tell me that somebody's lying. And the exchange between Tyson Fury and Malik Scott, I saw no lies. I didn't see none. Like Tyson's shoulders, all his shit, he's composed.
Relax.
Because he's telling the truth.
Yo.
Porque así es, que cuando tú estás diciendo la verdad, tú no tienes causa to be all bent out of shape. Like, yo, I fucked him up and I fucked you up.
Yeah.
Like,
yo, man, and you a basically told him, man, like, you wasn't shit, fighting. How you gonna be great? Like,
he asked the dude. He asked the dude, like, yo, how you gonna make him into a great fighter when you wasn't a great fighter?
Yo, my dude,
you a fucking lost it.
Malik está ahí, yo, el chamaco lo que está mamando huevo, no. Ese tipo está mamando huevo, no.
Yo, I was like, yo, I know he didn't just say that. I know he didn't just say that.
No, man.
How you gonna ask him that? Like, that's, to me, I looked at that and I was looking hard and I went back to the shit one more time after it was all over. I'm like, I gotta see that shit again. And I see it, and I'm looking at the shit. I'm just looking for tells. That is it scripted? Does it flow too easy? Or like anything that'll tell me whether or not it's a lie. And I'm like, yo, I really don't see neither of them lying. Malik Scott looked embarrassed, like he looked genuinely embarrassed when this dude said that, like, yo, I burst your eardrum and I burst his eardrum. How you
Yo.
gonna turn him into a great fighter when you wasn't a great fighter?
Yo, my man, that shit, it was over, bro. I was like, this. I know they didn't. Ellos lo que se querían era desaparecer, bro. At ese momento, precisely at this moment, the motherfuckers wanted to get like, damn, do we gotta go through this, man? And Tyson Fury lo más calmado, pero ahora lo que yo le voy a decir a Tyson Fury es que se tiene que comprarse un fucking suit, bro, porque ya yo estoy cansado. Porque ¿cuál es la vaina, loco? Tú tienes millones de pesos y te vas a aparecer cada rato con el maldito suit. ¿Por qué? ¿Qué estás haciendo con tu cuarto, mi pana? ¿Qué es lo que tú estás haciendo con tu cuarto?
Ese tipo, he comes out, ese Lineal suit que tiene la foto de todos los Lineal heavyweight champions. That's what it is.
Ah, okay.
That's the Lineal, like literally every picture on that suit is all the Lineal champions of the heavyweight division, right up to Tyson Fury.
Okay. Now,
Pero eso no es excusa tampoco, porque tú puedes, you can make like 2-3 suits like that. You ain't got to keep wearing them the same one.
Bueno, Tyson, mira, mi pana, vamos a comprártelo de otro color. Ese blanco con verde, vamos a hacerlo ahora verde con blanco.
Guys, I hope Julius is wrong about this conspiracy shit, because if Wilder doesn't win this fight, it's in a way, Deontay Wilder now reminds me a little bit of Charlie Selenoff. He's talking all that shit. He looks demented.
Yes.
What is gonna happen after that if he loses? He's gonna delete himself.
Bueno, yo voy a decir algo que es medio feo, pero es la verdad. Suicidio. Ese tipo, mira, yo te estoy diciendo, mira, manín, yo te estoy diciendo, ese tipo, if I'm wrong, right, and everything we're seeing is real, right? Mira cómo se puso ese tipo just because he got beat. You know, like, go back. I'm gonna take y'all back in time, right? Muhammad Ali had a big ego, and he got beat by Joe Frazier. But it didn't destroy him, did it? Nah, it didn't. Mike Tyson, we know that he had fragilities and things like that. But when Buster Douglas beat him, he still became a WBC heavyweight champion after that. He still kept beating guys even after that. Even after the biggest upset in the history of boxing, he still rebounded. Wilder, if what we're looking at is real, bro, you came out here with headphones, so you would not have to listen to this man. So nobody can ask you no questions. That's weak sauce. Like I can't even be like, yo, really, dog? Like, so you just gonna sit there with your headphones? What you listening to? Baby Shark, Baby Shark, like, what are you listening to, bro?
And it's like really trying to learn how to box now. It's corny. It's embarrassing.
What is this crazy? Yeah, he's cheating. Oh, now come on, man. You would have
and learning from Malik's fucking Scott, for God's sake.
Y mira, I got in a fucking argument the other day, and I'm gonna say, look, I got in a fucking argument the other day, and it was a half valid point that, look, not every great fighter is a great trainer. It doesn't take a great fighter to make a great trainer, because Freddie Roach, he wasn't a great Customato. I think he only had like 1 or 2 fights, if any. I don't even, because I think he did fight, but not like a lot.
Hey, listen, can I just say this? It goes to that whole adage: if you those who can't teach,
those who can do and those who can't teach. And we all know Malik can't. Like, I think we know that he can't. So maybe he could teach. Right. I don't know. Pero mira, ese tipo tiene 35 años, ¿verdad? 35 años tiene el tipo. He fights every fucking fight the same way. And one thing that Tyson Fury said that was very true is, as soon as he gets hit,
he's going to revert to the same shit.
To the same shit. Because that's what happens. That's boxing. Ya que cuando le da un pecozón, he's gonna go back to the la misma vaina that he's always been doing because you waited too late to change. You got comfortable for
Está
40 something
too
fucking
comfortable.
fights. For 40
Hey, mire, ese tipo le hicieron, they did him a disservice, bro. They protected him to the extent that he's still Bambi.
yeah,
That's
he
what we
Bambi.
saw.
Yeah.
We still saw Bambi. We saw Bambi. What happens when Bambi's thrown out into the wild and has to deal, with the real shit? Because vamos a decir la verdad, the Luis Ortiz, and I know yo ese tipo, I'm big Luis Ortiz fan. I think that if Luis Ortiz wouldn't be 50, 60 years old right now, that nigga would whip people's ass, bro. You know what I'm saying? Um, but the thing is that was a safety fight in that the age, the fact, and this and that. But what Tyson Fury did to this man, eso fue una cosa, man, que
Es que,
lo destruyó.
and I'm gonna say the only way that I can reconcile this, because I'm looking hard to see is it scripted or not, and if it's scripted, what portion of it is scripted. You understand? Because look, fights get fixed all the time, bro. Like that's the reality, bro.
Mhm, mhm.
Fights get fixed all the fucking time. A lot of butterbean fights, them shits was fixed, bro. A lot of
Oh,
motherfuckers don't
okay.
know that, but yeah, a lot of them shits
Yeah.
was fixed. He confessed in court that a lot of them shits was fixed. Average motherfucker still tell you, oh, Butterbean, he hit hard. Like, no, motherfucker, a lot of them fights was fixed. All right. So when I'm looking at this situation, I'm like, okay, maybe it could have been that they did want to have 3 fights, regardless of whatever. They did want to freeze out Anthony Joshua, but the Wilder people, it was a cherry pick gone wrong. That's one
Yes.
way you could look at it.
Yeah, no, I think that's the only way to look at it.
That it's like, yo, you
You
pick
just
this
cherry
dude.
pick out. Yeah, yeah.
You
He,
picked this dude because you felt, well, he don't hit hard and he been sniffing coke and eating food all this time.
yeah,
So I mean, like, and he still has a name. He still
yeah,
has an
Yeah.
undefeated record. So I'll
yeah.
fight him
Yes,
instead of Joshua.
of course. That's what he saw.
Yeah.
But then what came through his ring was a Trojan horse.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Came in with a Trojan horse, and that motherfucker was something that you never seen before. And then the second fight, you was preparing for the first dude you saw, and then he came over. Te, te vino otra vez diferente. Look, eso lo aturdió, man. Entonces, since because Tyson, I mean, Deontay Wilder, lo que pasó con Deontay Wilder, what happened with Deontay Wilder is that he attached a lot of personal baggage to this fucking fight. He gave in to the LDBC racist thing, and and then became like the fight, the Black King against this. He made it into that shit, and then when you lost your fucking soul, man. You know what I
No,
mean?
de verdad, lo que yo voy a decir es, okay, I'm gonna take the conspiracy shit away, right? Even though a part of me still feels, yes, they wanted 3 fights and they never had no intention of fighting Anthony Joshua. I still feel that way even now. Like I still feel like, look, even if the outcomes aren't scripted, the part of it that is orchestrated is that you had every intention of freezing him out. You need to
Yes.
freeze him
Absolutely.
out. Why? Because if that belt gets over there, the heavyweight division is sealed for years. You're going to have to send all of your contenders over there for fights. You don't want to have to do that. Bob doesn't want to have to do that. Motherfucking, Al Heyman doesn't want to have to do that. But that's the situation if you gamble. So instead of gambling, yo, Tyson, let's have a fight, bro. You hold a belt, I hold a belt. Let's have a fight, bro. Let's do that. That's
Yeah.
why I'm still holding on to that, because it's like, bro, could you imagine if all the belts end up at Matchroom?
But listen. The other thing, the thing that kind of like dissuades me from that, or kind of like, was there some gamesmanship between them against? like the enemy of my enemy is my
Is
friend.
my friend. That's
Yeah,
bro.
that at the beginning, they might have been, yeah, let's do this fight and freeze this fucking, make him look like an idiot and shit like that. Yeah, we down to make him look like an idiot. And look, for Fury, it was like, look, Anthony Joshua's got the UK. Well, guess what? I'm gonna come to America and conquer this. And you got to remember that
Yeah.
it wasn't until fucking Fury came to America that Anthony Joshua then decided to come here. So he
Yeah.
followed the leader. Because up until then, Anthony Joshua was all about, like, why should the UK fighters always go over there to prove anything? I'm going to be different. Remember that? That was it.
I remember that.
Okay, that. And then when Fury did what he did, then the pressure he felt to come over here. So it worked. You understand what I'm saying? So then, and that's on this side of the legend. And Tyson Fury said, "Okay, you care. I'm gonna show you what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna be bigger than you by coming to America and doing something that you can't fucking do, right?" So then he comes over here, gives Fury, but Fury was the one that saw the cherry pick in Deontay Wilder.
Bueno, mira lo que dijo Fury. If we're gonna have that conversation, Fury said, "I fooled Al Heyman into giving me that fight.
Yeah.
I made him think I just want." He said that though. He said that. Like he said, I made him think that I just want a couple of quid, and I fooled him into giving me the Wilder fight.
Yeah.
That's what he said.
Yeah. Yeah.
So con eso,
that's the only way you're gonna get a fight with a PBC fighter.
Bueno, eso sí.
That's the only way you're gonna. I mean, he must have been chilling. Oh, these fucking PBC dudes don't fucking fight real champ. Well, I'm gonna play fucking dead. Look who he warmed up with. Was Zemeta? What the fuck was his name? He didn't even get live bodies to. Él no quería verse, loco. Ese tipo no quería enseñar nada.
Nada.
Yeah.
Nada.
Por eso fue que puso el oponente eso que él usó para his comeback. Dos mierda.
Y eso,
and then he looked like shit with those two mierdas.
and the worst thing about Anthony Joshua, if you can win one time, but if this dude activates the rematch clause that is gonna game with the contract, you're probably going to lose. Like all this guy. What is this guy? The guy with beat Anthony Joshua?
Andy Ruiz.
Ruiz.
Like Ruiz, you're gonna get picked out from the outside, and you're gonna lose a decision.
Pero
if Anthony Joshua won, yeah. If Anthony
eso es lo
Joshua
que yo estoy diciendo.
yeah.
Eso es lo que estoy diciendo.
But what I'm saying is this also. This is the hat. What I had. Where I hang my hat at. This freaking Bob Arum, he's about fucking money. Okay? He's not like PBC. They're not about money, but they're about something else.
¿Quién sabe?
Because if it was about money for them, they would make a whole lot more fights than they've been making, and they would do the right thing. Like fucking the Charlos would be on the zone or make something happen with whomever. They would. It's not about money for them. With Arum, it's about money. It's let's make this money. So this is the part that doesn't swallow. He's not gonna not make a deal or not. No, and neither is Fury either. Fury is about money too, bro.
I mean, this is the thing. This is the thing.
He's gonna do what he's got to do with Wilder, and then he's gonna go
and entiende.
But I don't think there was ever going to pay a step aside fee to Wilder. You don't pay somebody that you
no, porque no. Te voy a decir algo. The step aside fee is an example, right? It's an example because I wasn't actually expecting Fury or Bob to pay Wilder. Like I was not expecting that. But the reason you can use that as an example is you're talking about a guaranteed purse of 75 million. That's the guarantee. That's not even all the money you stand to make. That's just what they're going to give you.
From the side fee.
So, si tú quieres con buena voluntad pelear con Anthony Joshua, you say, yo, Wilder, here's $20 million. Get the fuck out of my face, right? That's I'm saying that if it's me,
If
and
it's
I want AJ, I want the AJ money. Fuck you. I done fought you already 2 times. Fuck you. What I'm saying is if it's me, yo, Wilder, 20 million, hit the fucking road, bro. Take a fucking hike, bro. Get the fuck out of here. His 20 mil, go away. That's not what they did. They didn't want to do that. And I'm looking
of
at
course
that.
not.
I'm looking at that a little bit suspicious. Why?
Right. I
Because
know.
you,
See, and that's the thing. That's what where you really part company. Like I don't even believe that you would do that. Okay, because what I'm saying is this: it's 150 million for the side fee. My part is 75 million. In
Mhm.
order to get Wild Out there, I'm gonna give him 20 fucking million and have 55 million. You have 75 of
No,
me. Why?
espera,
Why would I
espera,
do that?
espera, Alexis, espera, espera.
Then you're talking about the pay per view and all that other stuff that comes next. But you're
Exactly.
still down. But you're still down 20 million.
I'm
You're
telling you,
still down. You're still down 20 million.
well, look at this situation. Look at this situation. You're going into, right? You're going into this fight with this guy, right? And at minimum, this guy's knocked you down before. He has knocked you down before. You felt his punch.
Uh-huh.
This is the heavyweight division. This ain't la 160, la
Yeah, yeah. Shit could
147.
change.
Con
Shit
un
could change tomorrow.
trompón que te dan, yo, it could be fucking over, bro. You
Yeah,
got
but
knocked
listen.
down. Now remember, this the same guy that went through hell and back, hell for leather with Dylan McDermott. This the same dude that was getting roughed up by Derek Chisora. It's the same dude that got knocked down by Nevin Pajic, knocked down by Steve Cunningham, knocked down by Deontay Wilder. I'm looking at the shit and I'm like, yo, no matter how you slice it, you could be confident. But every time you set foot in that ring, you're running risks. So I'm thinking, why would I run risks with Wilder for a third time, even if I think I could beat him? Why run risks with him for a third time when all this other money's over here? Fuck you.
Because you can be up another 25 million rather than down 25.
No, think about it in terms of money. Think about it in terms of money, Alexis. All right. This is
I
how
am
we go.
thinking
No,
about it
no,
too.
wait. Let me break it down for you. You're gonna gamble. You're gonna get maybe 30 million up front with Wilder. 30 million up front.
Right.
You're gonna get 75 million up front with Anthony Joshua. 75
Minus 20.
minus 20, right? Now,
Uh-huh.
even with the minus 20, you still guaranteed more money for the Joshua fight than you guaranteed for the Wilder fight.
Yeah, but it's a $30 million swing, brother. It's
Nah,
a
man,
$30 million swing,
nah,
brother. And this is
bro.
what I'm saying. Of course, it's the 30. It's the 30 that you're not getting from Wilder, and it's the 20 you got to give him to walk away. Come on.
Nah, bro.
Yeah,
I look at it. I
that's
look
the
at it like
math,
this,
bro.
bro.
My
I look at
brother.
it like
That's the
this,
math.
bro.
It's the 30 that you're not getting from Wilder, plus the
Okay,
20 you got to give him to walk away. I'm
yeah,
not
yeah,
going
yeah.
to do that.
Look, if you're
Can't
talking
argue
about the
that one.
versus, the step aside money has to be a proportional amount of the fight you are gonna make with the fighter you are doing a step aside. It can
Say
make
that again. Say that again. Say that again.
okay,
The step aside fee has to be proportionate with the money that you stood to make. And we know Wilder didn't stand to make 30 mil. He
yeah,
was gonna get 40% because that's what's in the contract. That if you activate the rematch clause, you're not getting 30 million like you did before. You're gonna get less than that.
Okay, so this is what I'm saying. This is why now we can go back to what Bob Barron says, and this is why in this part, just this particular part, why it makes sense and rings true. In that, if you have a deal in place and make a deal with AJ, and the sign seal delivered before this whatever arbitrator comes to his conclusion, then what he would put in place are damages and not a step aside fee.
But
And then you would damages that would not rise over 2 million.
see, all right, I'm gonna put it to you another way too. The arbitrator ruling in Wilder's favor, right? Even that is suspicious because, for starters, it's not that y'all couldn't fight last year. People was fighting last year. So
Right.
Like it's not that y'all couldn't fight, y'all didn't want to fight. And
Right.
while y'all was waiting and not fighting, the contract expired. That's the first story. That's the first story. They like, yo, while we was waiting, the contract expired. So we
Yeah.
out of here, bro. We done. Like we out of here. Like we got other
No,
shit
you
to
know
do.
why? You know why that doesn't work? I want you to sit down right now. Just close your eyes. Forget about everything. Just forget about. Try to be a blank slate
Okay.
right now. Okay, a blank slate, full objectivity. Okay. What happens is, this is the point that I was trying to make before. What happens is, if in the scenario that you just described,
Mm-hmm.
both parties, right? Both parties agreed that they didn't want to fight because of the extenuating circumstances of COVID not allowing them to really maximize their earnings for that
Okay.
fight.
Yes.
So now
Okay.
both parties are agreeing to that. Then a date comes along that doesn't work for either party. That alone, and I'm thinking along the lines of, if I'm an arbiter, what I'm seeing is that the contract that was written, the spirit, there's a thing called the spirit of the contract, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the spirit of the contract supersedes what's the deadline of the contract, because both of you are in
Yes.
agreement.
Yes.
You,
I
you,
agree.
so you, tú entiendes lo que estoy diciendo, right? Because the
Yeah, I
spirit of
understand.
the contract supersedes the contract, because both of you are in agreement. Therefore, it's not like one is ahead of the other, and we could have done this on my side and you didn't show up for it.
Mm-hmm.
No, we're both agreeing. The whole point. And this is what the arbiter is seeing. And it's extenuating circumstances that the contract did not speak to, which was COVID.
Okay, now this is what I'm gonna tell you, Alexis. Right? This is you're getting in the arbitrator's head right now, right? That's kind of like what I'm getting. Like,
Yeah. I'm trying to make sense of that ruling, and
now this is what I'm gonna tell you. Now, Alexis, this is what I'm gonna tell you, and this is why I believe that it was always their intention to have a third fight. Right? That's what the arbitrator's looking at. But I don't see where Tyson Fury's legal team fought vigorously to get him out of that situation. You didn't fight it, bro. You didn't appeal it. You didn't fight it. You had grounds for a defamation of character suit that could have actually negated all of this. Honestly, you did. You did. This man accused you in public of a felony. If it's me, once again, and I'm in that situation, and I'm Tyson Fury, and I want to fight Joshua, I don't want to fight Wilder again. If I want to fight Joshua, I tell my legal team, look, shoot for a defamation of character suit, tie him up with that, and we'll go deal with Joshua. We'll settle up afterward, because he doesn't have grounds for damages. Otherwise, he would have been awarded damages. He doesn't have grounds for it. You cannot sue me for money you didn't make, because guess what? I didn't make any money either off the fucking fight, you moron.
Yeah.
I could turn around and sue you for damages.
And the smoking gun in this case is Tyson Fury, just hours after he announced that the fight was on with Anthony Joshua, the arbitration ruled against Fury.
Right.
He was
So
look, he was doing
that kind of
So what does
timing.
that tell you?
That
What does
kind of
that?
timing is
I'm
like,
gonna tell you what it tells me. There's a
No. I
couple of
want to hear what it tells him. That guy.
oh go ahead, Leo. Go ahead, Leo.
yeah, is that kind of timing is like
Suspicious.
Impossible.
it can be a coincidence. It's like you announcing the fight, you talk to with the arbitration team, and then they rule immediately. No, it can't be that
No es posible. No es posible. Mira, I want to
in the
know if
middle of.
Punch. I want to know if Punch is still in the chat, because Punch said that the arbitrator's ruling it actually already happened before Monday. They only announced it to the media Monday, but the arbitrator's ruling
Oh,
actually came before that.
okay.
Oh yeah,
Okay.
okay.
Yeah.
Now,
I think.
espera. Esta es la vaina. On Sunday, Tyson Fury goes to Twitter. He says, yo, the Joshua fight is on. I just got off the phone with the Prince. That's Sunday, right?
Yes.
On Monday, the arbitrator's ruling comes down. So eso diciendo que on Sunday you were bullshitting, bro. You were fucking lying, bro. You've been fucking lying. You've been fucking lying about this the whole time, and you knew the whole time you're gonna fight Wilder again. So then why bring Joshua into it? Why bring Eddie Hearn into it? What was the point of all of that? If what you really wanted, exactly, if what you really wanted was to fight Wilder for a third time. Because legally, and I'm trying to tell you, legally, if you don't want to be here, guess what? You won't be here. But if you do want to be here, you will be here. There's no way he could force you. See, everybody's looking at it as Wilder had a cause to go after Fury because of money that he did not make from the third fight. And what I'm saying is you have to understand neither of them made money. It's not like I made money and you didn't make money. Neither of us made money. How you going to sue me for something that I didn't fucking make? It's not my fault that the third fight didn't happen. The pandemic caused the third fight to happen, and we mutually agreed to wait because there was no live gate revenue. We both teams agreed on that. You can't turn that around on me like it's my fucking fault you ain't make no money.
Well, what I'm saying is this. What I'm saying is that them mutually agreeing that we can't make no money right now automatically extends the contract. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I agree.
I'll say this much, Alexis.
Mm-hmm.
To me, because you mutually agreed to wait, both teams made that decision, right?
Mm-hmm.
Even though there were fights happening, I'm looking at it as a situation to where if I want to get out of the Wilder fight, if I want to get out of that, if I'm Fury and I'm Fury's lawyer, I would not just defamation. Not just defamation. That's only one avenue. The other avenue is a couple of months ago, Steve Bunce over there in the UK. He said that he overheard a conversation with Tyson Fury and he was on the phone with somebody. And what he was basically saying is he wants to get the Wilder fight out of the way. He's screaming into the phone saying he wants to get the fight out of the way.
Yes,
right?
Yes.
This was months ago.
Yes.
And I'm thinking to myself, okay, so that shows me that maybe Fury wanted to go ahead with the fight. Like, fuck it, let's do it in the studio.
Yes.
Let's get the shit done.
Yes.
And the Wilder people might have been like, no, we want to wait till there's a crowd, right? See, the point that I'm getting at is it's not that the fight couldn't happen. It could have happened because fights were happening behind closed doors. And if I'm Fury, I tell this to the arbitrator that, look, we could have fought. I wanted to fight. I wanted to get it over with. They held me up, all right? So when I saw that the contract
may not have wanted to go on.
now there you go. Maybe there you go.
Maybe that's who he was screaming at. Like, I want to get this shit done. But Top Rank was going to be on the hook for a whole lot of fucking money with no revenue. But it was bad enough putting on the damn.
But that's
Teofimo Lopez Lomachenko fight.
But that's what
put that in the studio. We can't do that.
No, pero lo que yo estoy diciendo es que I don't believe that Tyson Fury actually wanted to get out of the Wilder. I don't believe that. Like, now I don't, because I'm like, look, there's too many avenues there.
I don't think Top Rank wanted to get out of it.
I mean,
they wanted to do that fight.
I agree. I agree with you. I agree with you.
What I believe is this. What I believe is that people are not really accounting for is that, situations are fluid, man. Situations are fluid, man. It's not what is today doesn't necessarily is tomorrow in the perspective and the situation.
Alexis, yo entiendo todo eso, pero también yo vi la manera que este tipo se estaba comportando después que the ruling came down, ¿verdad? And what I saw in Bob Arum and what I saw in Tyson Fury, you want to know what I saw?
What?
Relief.
Yeah.
Relief. Why would you be relieved that that's out of the way? Why like, you shouldn't be relieved. You should be mad. You're missing out on $75 million, bro.
Or you can be happy that, you know what, we're going to get this fucking fight. I need a fucking tune-up anyway. I'm going to make 30 fucking million.
Nah, bro.
I need a tune-up. I'm going to make $30 million for this shit. And look, dude, this fight's so... the fight sold out again.
Di que yo no sé si yo no sé si yo me
That's
como
what
esa
I'm hearing.
labia.
It sold out again. And this
Di
time you're
que
gonna get 60% of this shit. So the thing is this, Ulyss, I'm just saying this. I think that in the beginning they were all on the same page and it was gonna happen, and then Tyson Fury got pissed off because I know Tyson Fury started getting pissed off at all the shit Wilder was saying, and then said, I don't want to fucking fight with you. And it was after he said that they said, no, we're gonna go in
okay, Alexis. Okay, so let me recap that scenario. Basically, they're all on the same page during the first fight. The second fight happens. Wilder gets his ass beat, and it's the things that Wilder said that soured the deal for Fury. Is that how you that they was all in cahoots? They're all working with each other to make these fights, and it's Wilder's accusations that
Right.
made Fury want to get out of there. That's what you're saying.
Yeah.
All right, all right.
And then once it turns to that, they said, you get me out of here, then he's not gonna get this fucking fight. Fuck it, blah 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 blah. And then it became ugly between each other. And that's I think that's
Is that what you think it's at? That it's like, yo, we was all right, we was working with each other, we was getting money,
yeah.
and
Yeah.
you
Actually that's remember when I brought up the podcast thing with this guy I was explaining this shit? And
uh-huh.
that was part of what he was saying, that and it makes so much sense in that mira, I gotta, espérate, the blood boxing initial reaction. Okay, espérate. I get these what they call that ¿cómo que se llama?
Notifications.
Huh?
Notific
Notifications, yeah. Where, for all the shit, those subscriptions for other YouTube pages, and one of them was like a blood boxing. I'm just like wondering what these motherfuckers are doing. But anyway, the point is here, this right. In that guy's explanation was so, it was so endearing to me. It was so great to me,
concise.
precise, because it made what they call, there's a word I'm using for, but it made he basically just said, like, dude, the shit is fluid. You start off in some way and then it evolves to another thing and then you're another stage and things like that. And I think that at some point Bob and them knew that the shit was gonna happen, the same what happened, and Eddie was flying around the world and shit like that. And then Bob said, fuck that motherfucker. He fucking bid on Teofimo Lopez. He's fucking with my fucking fight.
No, pero yo dije eso también. Yo dije, mira,
So we're not gonna
espera.
let him
Yo
touch his
dije,
ass.
la vaina con Anthony Crowler that everybody forgot about. Que Vasyl Lomachenko, he had a mandatory, right? Anthony Crowler. Bob Arum was fucking mad. Why? Because Eddie was going to try to use Anthony Crowler as a mandatory to push a purse bid to get Loma on the zone. So what Bob did, he said, I overpaid Anthony Crowler to keep the fight on ESPN. So he was already mad about that.
Yes.
Después viene la vaina con Devin Haney. La otra vaina que ahora él quiere usar fucking Devin Haney to get Vasyl Lomachenko over there on the zone. Well, you know what we're going to do? We're going to get franchised. Fuck you. Fuck you, Devin Haney. You don't get the fight. Después de eso, la vaina con Teofimo.
And before that, wait a minute. Pero espérate. Porque eso no fue de ahora. Remember that Bob Arum had fucking Hooker. He had Hooker. And then Eddie fucking blew that shit out the water.
No. Espera. No fue eso. That one was mutual because Eddie had signed Maurice Hooker. I think Maurice was on the PBC before Eddie signed him. He was on the PBC. Él le ofreció a Jose Ramirez $4 million to come over and have the unification fight. Like, that was good business. And that was good business for Bob.
What I'm saying is that him, you can look it up. Him, Dan Duva, I think is the Hooker, was the one that Hooker was Dan Duva, because Hooker was Rock Nation, as a matter of fact.
Yeah, he was Rock Nation, okay. But he was fighting on PBC cards, though.
So wait a minute. So Dan Duva and him made a deal with Bob Arum. That's when they got the fucking fight over that he beat up on the kid. What's his name? El chamaquito que from Oklahoma. He fucked him
I
up.
know you talk about Salcedo.
Yeah, Salcedo, and before Salcedo, so he was gonna give him a 2-fight deal because they knew that he was gonna beat Salcedo. Top Rank knew that nigga was gonna beat Salcedo. So, but they wanted to give it a 2-fight deal so they could be Salcedo and then get Ramirez, and they agreed. And then right before they signed, Eddie Hearn came and said, "Bam, I'm offering you this." And then Dan Duva had the integrity to say, "Yo, Bob, this nigga's offering me this. I know I agree with you for that, but he's offering me this." And que le dijo Bob? He said, "Brother, if he's gonna give you that kind of money, you better go get it, bro." And that's how that shit ended.
Ok, lo que yo estoy diciendo es que ya van 3 años, ¿verdad? 3 años of Eddie
De
Hearn
Eddie Hearn jodiendo con
jodiendo.
fucking Bob.
Eso es lo que es. Y yo lo que estoy diciendo es que para mí, if you have to wonder, okay, well, why would Bob want to waste Eddie's time? Why would he want to do that? Well, Eddie's been fucking with him for 3 years. He's been fucking with him for 3 years, bro.
Mira, ahora mismo Eddie Hearn he had better be over there. And he had Bivol over there. No hizo nada con nada de esa vaina.
Sí,
ahora viene Bob y dice, coño, better be, ven para acá, vamos a hacer algo contigo y vamos a poner vino con but that wasn't Eddie Hearn's fault, so I'm not going to put that shit on him. But tenía la vaina de let's do 175 y put Colville y toda esa gente, tenía toda esa gente. Only one he didn't have was Devoe, y ya viene este fucking the zone motherfucker to fuck up his shit. Todo lo que hace, y ahora tiene a Joe Smith y tiene la tres correas y viene Eddie Hearn. No, que vamos a pelear con Jacobs. You know, es una
no, pero
vaina.
espera, este es el lío, no, espera, te voy a decir algo, mira, te voy a decir algo, espera, no, espera un momento.
Coño,
Sí.
Mira, entonces, si tú me haces a mí esa mierda todo el tiempo, yo te digo, está bien. Ve, sigue, coño. Dale la vuelta al mundo making that fucking deal. Yo sé que eso no va a pasar, así que vete, móntate en avión, haz llamadas.
Ok, pero
cojónate la vida haciendo esta
ok,
vaina,
pero eso es diciendo, espera, porque eso es diciendo también lo que yo estaba diciendo anterior, que el tiempo, the whole time, Bob knew the AJ fight won't happen. Can we agree on that? Do we agree on that? That Bob knew, yo, that fucking fight ain't gonna happen. You could fly to Uzbekistan, you could fly to Saudi Arabia.
I think that at some point they knew it wasn't gonna happen.
But that's what I mean. That in other words, they deliberately. I'm gonna put it this way. Let me put it this way. They deliberately wasted. Can we agree that at some point
deliberately wasted
yes.
time?
Yes. Can we agree on that?
1,000%. Yeah.
Because that's a part of what I said, that I'm like, yo, you guys have forgotten. You guys don't not you, but I was saying it in a video that I'm like, you got to understand. Eddie Hearn has been trying to get Bob's fighters over to the zone for years now. Everybody thinks that the Haney shit was about Haney and Loma, and no, it's not about Haney and Loma. It's about Bob and Eddie. Eddie was trying to get Loma on the zone for a fight. He tried with Anthony Crolla. He was going to try with Devin Haney. Bob was getting sick of the shit, so he goes to the WBC like, yo, make him a franchise champion, B. Fuck a mandatory. You're never going to get that fight. Bob said it out his own mouth. Devin is on the wrong side of the street.
Yeah. He fucking circumvented shit. And the thing is that what Eddie Hearn may have the fucking money, and not even him. Look at the connection to get money. I don't know what's the Russian guy that's starting the zone.
Blavatnik.
Ese tipo parece que tiene a fucking printer, a money printer, bro.
He's a fucking billionaire, bro, that guy.
No, fucking... pero billionaire hay mucho, pero ese tipo es trillionaire. Ese no es billionaire, ese es trillionaire.
Bueno, hay dinero limpio. Hay dinero limpio y hay dinero sucio.
Sí, entonces y parece que ese tipo le tiene un amor y un aprecio a Eddie Hearn, que dice, ven, toma todos los cuartos. Yo ni quiero que tú lo que tú quieras, Eddie, haz todo lo que tú me entiendes. Entonces Bob se metió con Disney le dio sus 90 mil millones y va es un tipo que mira, porque vamos a decir la verdad, coño, vamos a hablar.
Yo sé lo que tú vas a decir.
Ok,
Yo
vamos
sé
a
lo
decir
que
la
tú vas
verdad.
a decir. Yo sé lo que tú vas a decir. Que él está
Yo
haciendo más con ese 90,000. Él
Ah.
está haciendo más con ese 90,000 que Eddie Hearn está haciendo con todos esos cuartos de Blavatnik.
Exacto, pero él entonces va y coge con los 90, con los chelitos que le da. Con los chelitos que le da. Él coge coño con su chelito y hace todo lo que puede con los chelitos. Y viene Eddie Hearn a coño a desbaratar la vaina.
Cojones a la vaina entera.
¿Tú me entiendes? Pero the thing what I really want to say es que Eddie Hearn tiene todo esos cuartos, but the fucking know-how.
No, but that now that look now wait a minute. Now wait a minute. Now wait a minute. Wait a minute now, Alexis, because this is the other thing. This is the other thing. This is the other thing. And this is why I agree with Bob on certain shit. I don't agree with Bob on certain shit, right? You can't duplicate 50 years of you can't duplicate that. You can't, like, you can't, bro.
And it's not only and this is gonna speak to another level. It's 50 years because he's taking the Bob this, Bob that, Bob that. You don't, listen, the relationships that nigga has with people, bro, date back. Akihiko Honda, taking, toda esa mierda, la misma gente de Zanford, why don't they fuck Bob, bro?
Ya
Porque
tú sabes.
ese tipo siempre lo ha tratado bien. Ese tipo, lo que he doesn't fuck people. Por más que te digan que va a que
no, te voy a decir algo. Eso ya like you don't have to sell me that one porque eso ya yo lo sé. Lo que estos muertos de hambre están esperando es que Bob le dé regalo a la gente. Eso no es negocio, manín. Business don't work like that. Eso no es negocio. Nadie está nobody's in the business. Nobody's in the business of giving money away.
Exactly. Except people that don't create the money. You understand what I'm saying? It's easy to give money away when it ain't your fucking money, motherfucker.
No, pero eso fue la cuestión. Esa fue la cuestión que yo dije. Y eso fue hace mucho tiempo. I take full credit for this because nobody else said it. When Triller bid on the fucking Lopez fight, ese día, I said, you do realize that me and you are going to have to pay for this now, right? You do realize that, right?
Entonces todo el mundo celebrando que tío, fuck Bobby, tío. Llenándose la boca de esa vaina y ahora todo el mundo llorando porque usted se...
Es que la gente son estúpida.
Esa fue la primera maldita gente, ¿no? ¿Tú me entiendes? Entonces, lo que yo digo es esto, bro. Hasta se me olvidó lo que iba a decir.
No, pero chequea. Yo porque yo soy un muerto de hambre, ¿verdad? Que cuando esa noticia llegó, yo dije, espera, I hope they don't expect me to pay for this fucking shit. Because it sounds, if you put up $6 million para esta trapo de pelea, ¿verdad? The only way you get it back is if it's a pay-per-view. And I know you're not going to make this a pay-per-view. Al próximo día, you start hearing
fucking pay-per-view.
Like, yo, está loco. So we bitch about now ponlo así. Yo pongo esa pelea en el mismo file que Ruiz versus Ariola, que no va a ser. No va a ser. Like, no, dog. Like, you bugging.
And it's not, entonces, toda gente, todo fucking idiota. Oh, damn. Oh, they're not paying Tio what he's worth, and Tio's this, and Tio. No, you idiot. It's not about Tio. It's about not paying fucking Cambosos.
No, pero también se trata de Tio, porque tú piensas, you tell yourself, oh, I'm this one. No, you're not. We got the receipts. I'm sorry, but you're not that. You're not there yet. Eso es la verdad. Por ejemplo, Si Errol Spence le gana a Manny Pacquiao, does he absorb all his marquee value? No. You're not gonna
No.
have the fan base that
Filipinos ain't
No,
gonna
some of
tune
them.
in to see Errol Spence.
You know what? Ya, si tú acabas con ese viejito and you finish him and you retire him, you don't suddenly get his net worth. You don't get his marquee value. This is not
No.
fucking Highlander que tú le cortas la cabeza al tipo and you absorb all his fucking powers. It doesn't work
Mm-mm.
like that. This is
Mm-mm.
a business. And
Mm.
con Teofimo, yeah, you beat Lomachenko. Cool. That's amazing. That's awesome. You don't have Loma sponsorships. You don't. That's the truth.
Mm.
You don't have Loma sponsorships. You're
And
not
you're
worth
not
this.
gonna get it acting the way like a thug. You're not
Well,
gonna
it's out there. Yes, yes, that's another conversation. But and that's the shit that I was trying to say. Like people was giving me shit about it. That I'm like, look, I sympathize with Tio, and I understand why he feels that way. But that's not how this works. You're not automatically a 3 million, a 4 million, a 5. You're not. You're not. It doesn't work like that. It has to show up in the receipts, and then we'll know. And you just beat Vasil Lomachenko. You understand? You just beat him. We
Mm.
don't know what happens if you send. We don't know what happens if we send you back out there without him. Can we send you out there with George Cambosos and you bring us that money back? Can we send
Mm.
you out there with Ivan Mendy,
Mm.
Emmanuel Togo, with these
Mm.
no-name guys? Can you bring the money back
Mm.
if we send you out there without Loma? Because right now what it looked like is, well, yeah, the fight did good numbers on ESPN. It did great numbers. It was the most watched fight of the year. But, well,
Mm-hmm.
that was you and Loma. You understand? That wasn't just
Mm-hmm.
you. That was you
Mm-hmm.
and him. So
Yeah,
you got to get real, bro.
Mm-hmm.
that's
Mm-hmm.
that's the that's the trademark of household name.
Yeah,
You fight
can
a
I ask you a
nobody,
question?
and make tons of money, like Pacquiao did, like Floyd Mayweather did. Teofimo is not in that place.
Eso es lo que es. Y parece que lo que Teofimo está pensando es que, oh, well, I beat Vasil Lomachenko, so I'm worth this. And no, it doesn't work that way, bro. You don't absorb his money powers and his sponsorships when you beat him. It doesn't work that way. The way it works, you got to, if you want a certain amount of money, if I want $6 million, right? And I want Bob to give me $6 million. Okay, well, I have to be able to bring it back because he's not
Mm-hmm.
just giving me $6 million. I got to be able to bring it back.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And entonces the foundation of all this is with the top rank when it comes with top rank is that in its inception, in its first, it's how you it's everything goes to the beginning, you know, and sequence of events matter, and people just over. You know, everybody wants to treat every situation like this just happened, and that's and nobody wants to look at why it comes from. Why doesn't Bob Arum throw away money frivolously? Well, he doesn't throw away money frivolously because he started a company from his
Yeah,
pocket,
yeah.
from his investment, and and when you start a money, a pocket, a company from forget that it's boxing. When you start the company, tú no ves la vaina cuando muchas veces comienza un señor, un tipo comienza como una empresa que él invierte su dinero y le empieza a ser grande y la empresa sube y en its success y vienen los hijos y la desbaratan.
Sí, sí.
Mucha
Yeah.
gente, porque los hijos
Ellos
no
no conocen,
invirtieron nada.
ellos no conocen the struggle. Eso es
Yeah.
lo que es.
Y, no,
They
y
don't.
más que eso, que no invirtieron nada. No, nunca fue su dinero. Entonces es una cosa, that's the same thing that applies with Top Rank. Top Rank, he started this shit. He on a fucking diners card, credit card.
Mm,
All right? Ran with Muhammad Ali when Ali wasn't couldn't get fucking fights, bro, in the United States and made fights everywhere else. Like he's running around. And yes, he's got Ali and that's the biggest name shit. But that motherfucker was like, yo, trying to in the if you hear the story, it was crazy, man.
what I'm
Running
look
around trying to make
what I'm gonna
fights.
say. What I'm gonna
But
say is
can I
this.
just say this, please?
All right, go ahead, go ahead.
So then with 5 years, this is pivotal because it this is it speaks to why Bob Arum is not attached to any fighter like that. Because everybody says, "Oh, this guy, oh, every fighter leaves you, and this is that,
No, they
and this
want
is
him to go cry in the
right."
bathtub, bro.
Exactly. But
Eso es lo que están esperando.
this is what happened with when Top Rank had fucking 5 years, barely 5 years. The guy that they built together. I mean, the Muhammad Ali who they were building shit together, who even had was a partner in the company, walks away for $5 million to fight and goes with Don King.
Mm.
So Lord, he said, yeah, and when Muhammad Ali took the fucking heavyweight division with him, right? And Top Rank stayed, and he was still able to survive that shit and bring it and make Top Rank what it is today. So when you go through that experience and you lose Muhammad fucking Ali,
Mm.
when you lose Muhammad Ali when your company's 5 years old, that motherfucker walks and takes an entire division, heavyweight division from you, and your company still survives, you don't give a fuck who else walks away.
Yeah.
You
No,
understand what I'm saying?
no, look,
When you go through
look.
that experience,
Eh,
when a
eh,
Muhammad Ali goes away from your company and fight, you don't give a fuck who you are,
bro,
bro.
it's like, look. I'm gonna say this, and I want
Am
to
I
say
right or
this.
wrong?
No, you're right, and I'm gonna say this without saying a lot, right? A lot of people that are not used to like handling money or doing certain shit, right? On the books, off the books, whatever. A lot of people they like to talk about that shit, and they don't understand. You can't be in that business muriendo y viviendo because of the fighter. Like, no, that's not my job, bro. When you retire, I'ma still be here. I still got a business to run. When you retire, when you get hurt, when whatever happens, I still got a business to run, bro. I cannot get attached to you. I'm in a business.
Exactly.
I'm in a business of making
Exactly.
money. I'm not in the business of giving you money. No, I'm in the business of
Exactly.
making money.
Exactly.
And I
Exactly.
can't do that. I cannot do that job when if a fighter come to me and he tell me, well, look, I want a minimum purse of $3 million. Okay, are you good for the $3 million? Can you cover it? Can you bring it back? Because if you can't, then guess what? You're not gonna fucking get it. It's that simple. You
Exactly.
better
And
go.
back in the days, why he respect people like Marvin Hagler and these other, yo, the motherfuckers didn't have minimum purses.
Yeah,
They worked on percentages.
yeah. Pay-per-view was different then. They didn't expect as much money up front.
No,
Yeah.
let's make the fight, and then we split. What we're gonna agree is on a percentage.
Yeah.
Percentage.
And
And
fights got done and
and
fights got fucking made.
fights got made. So these people that keep talking about, oh, these different networks are destroying the sport and it's splintered. No. It's the what's destroying the sport is the what they call that, the fight structure and these minimums.
Well, no. It's two things primarily. One,
Mm.
the networks do have their role to play because they
Yeah.
want promoters. They want promoters to pledge fealty to a network, and that
Mm.
directly prevents fights. That's one thing.
True.
But the other thing is It is the management, the fighters' managers, the fighters' managers in the fighter ear telling them. And I understand that. I get it that a bird in the hand is worth two in the bush. That
Mm.
I'm not gonna gamble on the upside. I want this amount of money up front or no fight. I get it.
Mm.
It's a situation to where everybody can't get what they want. Like I understand why Teofimo wants that amount of money, and I respect the hell out of that kid. I get it. It's just that I also know where Bob is coming from. They're like, dog, you
Mm-hmm.
not good for it yet. You not.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe in 2 fights you're good for it, but right now I'm telling you that is not a $6 million. It's not a $6 million fight, bro. Look,
No,
la
of
vaina
course.
I
Yeah.
don't know. De verdad, I don't know if he really sick. I hope he not sick, but whatever. But if he is sick,
No.
it's a blessing in disguise. Why? You can't expect people to pay for that fight. Either Zone has a card, Showtime has a card, ESPN has a card. Y tú quieres que esta gente paguen para esta trapo de pelea the same night as all of those other fights? The only thing you're gonna do is lose their money. That's the
And,
only thing
and
you're gonna do.
and they're talking about August 14th. Anything going on August 14th? Because it doesn't. Doesn't PBC have a date?
I
Then?
think they got fuck. I don't know if it's on the 14th. I gotta check, but I do believe that Spence versus Pacquiao is in August, ain't it? Ain't that in August?
Yes.
I
The
think on the
next week, the
26th.
following week.
Ahí está. Like there
The
it is.
following is Spence. Is Spence Pacquiao. But I'm saying on that date, August 14th, is it open?
I
Like is
think
there
it's
nothing else?
open. I think it's open. But you don't find it peculiar. Look, a dude gets COVID, right? Guy gets COVID, and you guys already have a date mapped out. You don't know if he's gonna be fit to fight on the 14th, which y'all just landed on the 14th. If he said he got COVID and he's showing symptoms, what if he has long COVID, like that redheaded girl? That's why she can't have that fight because even though she got sick months ago, she still got the symptoms. You don't know that he's gonna be healthy on the 14th. It's
Mm.
possible. It's to me, and I would understand it if that's the case, that you're moving the date because you cannot expect people to pay for this fight the night of 3 other fucking fights, bro. By me,
Mm-mm.
if I go real far with it, I'm gonna say they chose all to fight on that date to freeze you out, to freeze Triller out, to freeze Ryan Kavanaugh
I
out.
believe that. I
Because
believe
Uh,
¿cómo va a ser que toda esa pelea están pasando en el mismo día? La misma no. When do you see that? I understand 2 fights, but 3? Nah, that's deliberate, bro. That's deliberate.
I want to say something. Is not only the networks, the promotional companies, the people have changed
Yeah,
too.
yeah.
And my generation um, grew up with all my friends, all the people I knew that were in some kind of, I don't know, uh, how do we call it, matches, fights. There
Uh-huh.
were pro wrestling. I grew up that phase. I just started to like modern boxing, but I see the people that are now paying, especially in the in the en los Estados Unidos,
Mhm.
Uh-huh.
los que están pagando ahora, los que están poniendo la plata, el dinero, those guys are more like that kind of WWE promotion
Porque eso es lo
antics.
Yes.
que es, eso es lo que
Yes.
es. Pura
Yes.
novela, pura novela.
Yes.
It's soap
Do you
operas, bro.
the
Yes.
UFC? I see every promotion promo, and it feels like WWE.
También,
It doesn't feel
también.
Yes.
like
Yes.
those
I
fights are.
agree.
Porque
It's
mira,
not
mira,
like
no te la pierdas. The WWE makes a lot, and I mean a lot of
yeah
fucking money. A
Yes.
lot. They get a
Yeah.
lot of
Yeah. Yeah.
viewership. They get a
Yeah.
of a
lot of
fake
money.
super fake shit. Nobody cares.
Exactly. But listen, the thing is, and I'm glad, I kind of, I don't really like to go down this freaking wormhole, but that thing that you're talking about, that you're noticing, it breaks my heart. You know why? Because it's the state of the world, the state of society.
Oh,
There
sí.
is
Yeah.
no boundaries anymore as far as reality and faith. When I was growing up, we all knew wrestling's bullshit. It's entertaining. And Bruno Sammartino, and that's nice and beautiful. But we don't confuse it with boxing because boxing is real. We all knew that the Beatles and the Rolling Stones and this and that, there was some rock matches and that, but we're not going to confuse them with the Monkeys and the Partridge Family because they're full of
Exactly.
shit. You know what I'm saying? And right now we're living in a state, and then Disney, right? Disney was Disney and cartoons and this and that and the other. And when you wanted real movies, you go to MGM and this and that.
Yeah.
But now the state of the world it's so convoluted and so fluid, and there's nothing is real. You
You know
can't
what this shit
believe,
is? Nah, you know
and
what
you
this shit
can't say.
is?
And the thing is, whoever gets a piece of news out first without confirmation, there's no journalistic integrity.
Yo,
You know what I'm saying?
Alexis, I'm trying to tell you, there's an old saying: tough times breed tough people. Tough people bring about good times, and good times breed
And bring
weak
about
people.
yes,
Weak people, and that's like right
yes,
now how I
yes,
how I see this shit. Everybody's doing a lot of shit for attention. Everybody, daddy didn't hug them, and they
yes.
didn't get enough. Like it's like me. That's you look. My whole generation didn't know our fucking fathers, and we was okay, bro. We didn't worry about that shit. Like I didn't worry about that shit. All right. That's
Mm.
that's that's all that daddy issue shit, that's bitch assness. That's to me, that's like, I'm sorry, but that's how I look at the shit. Like, that's bitch ass. Like, what you worried about that shit for? You be alright. You know how many motherfuckers I know don't know they daddy? And they alright. They cool. All right. So fuck the bullshit. This generation, they like, yo, everything is feel sorry for me.
Yes.
But look at me,
Yes.
but praise me, but also feel sorry. Like, how I'm gonna praise you and feel sorry for you at the same time?
Everybody needs a fucking. You get a ribbon for last place because for participating. You get an award for participating.
Danny Garcia.
You know what I'm saying? It's
Garcia, bro.
It's like,
hey, look, before it was a ribbon for participating, right? That whole mindset of society permeated into boxing. And when it permeates into boxing, it becomes a regular belt.
Yes. Yes.
That's it.
It becomes
Danny
Swift. It becomes Danny Swift Garcia.
Danny Swift Garcia. It becomes Gervonta Davis making a name out of nothing.
De nada, puro
nothing.
que
Fighting
Fonseca.
nobodies. He didn't face Lomachenko. He didn't fucking face him. He's moving up to 140. He's not even talking about Josh Taylor. He's not talking about, he's talking Mario Barrios, and you're supposed to get real happy about it because he moved up. Motherfucker, he had to move up. He doesn't make fucking weight.
Bro.
And everybody, and if you point out the plain old facts and the truth,
no, es que esto le duele a esta gente, todo le duele.
No, es el estado del mundo.
No, tú no puedes decir eso. Tú no puedes hablar así de ese tipo. Él es una estrella, coño.
I remember one of the first face-offs in boxing I saw was Margarito versus Cotto 2. And I couldn't believe how much they hate each other. I was shocked. I was after that. Before that. I was watching WWF, The Rock versus Triple H. It wasn't the same. It feels real. That's one of the first things that bring me to the sport.
Te voy a decir, mira, la última vez que yo vi un face-off así, that it felt real, that it felt like, yo, these guys really don't fucking like each other, man. It was fucking Anthony Joshua con Dillian White.
Yeah.
You fucking felt it. They're like, yo, Joshua, he's a nice guy, but he wants to fucking jump across this table and fuck you up, bro. Like, and you keep interrupting the dude when he talking and shit. Yeah. That was the last real face-off I saw.
I now and now it's like every face-off is like una pelea de gallos, a rap battle, almost.
Yeah,
it doesn't feel organic.
No, porque todo el mundo, la vaina nueva es, oh, I'm a brand, or I'm trying. No, you're not a fucking brand. You're not.
Listen,
you're not a brand.
You know what's a bullshit beef face-off? Is that whole George Cambosos, Teofimo Lopez shit.
Yeah.
Those motherfuckers, there's no way they dislike each other.
Nah, I mean, they don't have a reason. Like, how, like it's certain shit, man. It's like when I saw Joe Frazier and obviously I wasn't raised in that era. I had to look it up. But those kinds of stare downs, like the one between Joe Frazier and George Foreman, you're not gonna see that. Or Mike Tyson and Peter McNeely. Like, Peter really thought he was gonna win that fight. Like, he really thought that shit. Like, you really think you gonna beat I know it's opportune because it was his first fight after the jail sentence, but like, yo, Peter McNeely really thought he's gonna win that fight. I'm like, yo, this dude is nuts, bro. And Mike is just grilling this cat. You don't see that no more because a lot of these guys, they all trying to be like a brand. Like, yo, you're not a brand, bro. You are focused on the wrong thing. Before you even become a brand, focus on the foundation. All right. Be the best at what you do first. You trying to be a brand before you even a good fighter. That's fucking weird. They trying to turn Gervonta Davis into a brand. He ain't even really been tested yet. You didn't like, and I say it in every live video. If he didn't fight Lomachenko, I could have forgiven that. But at least fight Burchell. At least fight Kevin Farmer. At least fight Corrales or Machado or Herring or Ito or something.
Yes.
You fucking fought
You could have
no
fought
one.
Machado, but you didn't fight Machado because Machado was fucking dangerous. We didn't know Machado was the guy that he's turned out to be.
Not at that time, you
Not
right.
at that time.
Yeah.
You avoided that whole fucking thing, man. And then you stole the real belt from Machado and just called it your own because fucking Oscar and Golden Boy don't really know how to really take command of the business.
Yeah, they fucked
Because they
Machado,
would
man.
have never listen.
For me,
Listen. You
okay,
think the WBA would have done that to Bob Arum?
No,
no
no,
way.
no, no se atreven, no se atreven,
No fucking way, bro.
no se atreven.
Yeah, look. For me, if you know in your heart you are the real deal, it doesn't matter if you lose. If you're
Yeah.
not, it doesn't matter if you lose a competitive fight or a non-competitive fight with a great fighter. Doesn't matter
Ahora,
if you're gonna
ahora,
grow
esto es lo
like
que yo voy a
Canelo.
decir. Esto es lo que yo voy a decir. Lo que me gusta de los boxeadores de otros países es que ellos todavía tienen esa mentalidad. Inui tiene esa mentalidad. Nonito Donaire tiene esa mentalidad. El americano es el que no lo tiene.
Esa hambre, porque el americano no tiene hambre.
No tiene hambre, ya comió. They think they're all superstars.
You know, the refrigerator's full. You know what I'm saying? And it's the hunger. Listen, I'm gonna say, who's that? The black kid that he died in the ring. Is this? I know one of them.
Patrick Day. Patrick Day. Patrick Day.
Patrick Day. Let me tell you something, bro. I'm gonna say this, man. That and I see it like with my son, he's into boxing and stuff like that. But Patrick Day comes, his mother and his father were very educated.
Mm-hmm.
He comes from middle class. He was in Long Island, definitely middle class. He was educated himself and things like that. I think that there's not going to be too many fighters that you're going to meet that has that kind of background that is going to be able to be, amongst the elite of boxing. You know what I mean? Because I think that part of part of becoming that kind of fighter, real fighter, it's a fight.
Mm-hmm.
And you have to experience you have to experience adversity in your life. You have to escasez. You have to, you know what I mean?
Es que esa no es profesión para hombre blandito,
no,
para hombre flojo.
No.
Y lo que hay ahora son hombres flojos, especialmente en este país que everything is feel sorry for me. Everything is, ay, poor me. Throw yourself a fucking pity party then, bro. You always want fucking people to feel sorry for you. Y lo que yo veo es que the fighters that are coming from other countries, they have a completely different, like, mira, por ejemplo, I come back to this. Gary Russell Jr. gets offered $1 million, right? This was in January.
Mm-hmm.
Gets offered $1 million fucking dollars, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
He turns the fight with Josh Warrington down. Un Mexicanito, he doesn't get offered $1 million for the fight, right? But he gets offered some money for the fight.
Yeah.
He goes over there. He beats the daylights out of this fucking guy. The fucking daylights out of this guy. And that's what's missing. That it's like, yo, Gary, you don't have a fucking fan base, bro. You do realize that, right? In the time that you turned that fight down till now, you haven't even fucking fought. You could have made $1 million and you still have time to fight Ray Vargas. You don't want to do that. Oh, so I'm not gonna feel sorry for you when people don't give a shit about you, bro. Somebody on some YouTube channel, they're gonna feel sorry for you. I'm not, because you could have made $1 million. You didn't want to make $1 million because you're so fucking good. You're too good for that shit, right?
He could
right?
fight once a year, make $1 million, and that's it, and that's it. There's no motivation for greatness, this and that, and then they, they won't give him the fight that he really does want, which is that the Santa Cruz fight, right?
But how many people did Marvin Hagler fight, right? just to get to a world title.
Yeah, man.
Just to get to a world title.
Yeah, man.
All right.
Yeah,
So when
man.
you see, so when I see a guy like Gary, okay, fine, they didn't give you the fucking Leo fight. You do realize the whole division is not Leo Santa Cruz, right? That there's other fighters out there that you could fight. You like this shit. You like fighting once a year. That's what I see. You like that shit. So when you don't have a fan base and people don't give a fuck about you, I'm not gonna throw you a pity party for what? That's what you want. You want that shit. When Tevin Farmer got a belt, and we know that Tevin Farmer, he's not one of the greatest guys, but when he got himself a belt, this dude fought 5 times in 12 months because
Yeah, man.
that's what you do when
He
you want to
racked.
do it. That's
He
what you
racked
do.
up. Yeah.
You make the most out of your title shot. The kid made himself enough money that he started renovating houses, so he doesn't even have to rely on boxing anymore. Though he is talking about coming back, but still, he took the bread that he made and he did some shit with the shit. So when I hear all these pity parties getting thrown, I'm like, why are you fucking feeling sorry for these cats, bro? That's what the fuck you want. When Jermall Charlo gets stuck in a shitty fight with Juan Montes, no, I'm not gonna feel sorry for you. They offered you $7 million to fight
Yeah.
Demetrius Andre. The fuck I'm gonna feel sorry for you
Yeah.
for?
Okay, I want to say something about the PVC fighters. At this point, and after watching all Julius' videos about PVC, this and that, I feel sorry for those guys. For I remember something Timothy Bradley says, and it struck me because he says something about loyalty,
Mm.
and
Yes.
he was right. It's like these guys, maybe with the wrong people, they don't get a career. They don't, and they stuck to these guys, these managers, these promoters, these trainers, and they trust to those guys to lead them to a good career. They are hoping to do the best for him, and in the PVC, and they have this system that they don't gonna get the big fights, they don't gonna get the big money because managers and promoters are the same. Yeah, and it's sad. And they have to veil these managers, these promoters, because they don't want to throw these guys under the bus. They cool.
Well, look, I'm gonna put it to you this way. This is why I don't have a lot of pity, right? These guys, right? Like Leo Santa Cruz, he was getting like $1 million purses for a long time, right? And I know that you don't get to take home the million. I understand that. You probably taking home about 500,000 in all actuality. I get that.
Yeah.
That's how it all breaks down. But even with that $500,000, you have more money, more startup money to start up a business than your average small business owner. That is reality. All right. You
Yeah,
have that. All right. Now, if you
yeah,
want to be a superstar and a dickhead and you want to be a rapper or this and that, you don't want to focus up. Yo, that's not nobody's problem. That's your problem. That's you. I'm not going to feel sorry for you because you literally have more startup money than the average small business owner. Your finances are and have always been your responsibility. It's cats
yeah.
that
I
I
get that.
know. It's cats that I know that still live in Harlem that have lived in Harlem their whole motherfucking life. And it's not because of this, it's not because of that, it's because you don't want to leave. Because I know other motherfuckers that grew up just like me. Some of them is in California right now, some of them is in Texas, some of them moved to other countries. I myself got out of New York City, right? All right. So all that feeling sorry for people. No, I don't do that because you determine what's gonna happen. You determine that. I
Mhm.
know a dude, he the same age as me. I'm damn near 40. Yo, you've been living in Harlem your whole life. And if that's what's going on, it's because you don't want to leave. It ain't because of this and that. And no, fuck the bullshit. It ain't none of that. It's because you don't want to leave. So when I look at these cats, right? You got a guy. Boxers got a limited shelf life. This is not a job you want to still be doing when you're 50, right?
Mm.
You got a guy, English guy, he offers you $7 million, and you actually let somebody convince you not to take it. Okay, then you deserve it. However, you end up, you deserve all of that shit because somebody else with more unfortunate circumstances than you, they would have jumped on that opportunity. You chose not to. I'm not gonna fucking feel sorry for you. When Canelo Alvarez ignores you, I'm not gonna feel sorry for you. You got offered $7 million, bro, for Demetrius Andrade, who is not even a $7 million fighter. All right, enough
Oh,
with the
okay.
pity parties.
Yeah. I am talking about PBC fighters just for the thing you say. You say Al Heyman is voiding the Muhammad Ali law,
Yes, he
the Ali
is.
law. So these guys are kept in the dark about what is going on really. These managers and his promoter, Al Heyman, are on the same page, eh, cosa que no debería correr,
Uh-huh.
but it is what it is. And it's, you say it, you can win $7-10 million in one fight.
Mm-hmm.
But what happens after that? Is you get if you go from a free agent, maybe you don't get any fights after that. Maybe,
Posiblemente.
maybe.
El lío es que the Muhammad Ali Act is designed to compartmentalize everything. Like the manager is supposed to act on behalf of the fighter to the
Yeah.
promoter. The promoter might be focused on the network's needs, whereas the manager's supposed to be focused on the fighter's needs. The issue with Al is he's acting as both of them. You can't
And
look out for Fox, right? You can't look out for Fox and tell Fox, well, I'll guarantee you content, and at the same time look out for your fighter because there's a conflict of interest. What if there's more money for your fighter on a different platform? You then have to go against Fox and say, yo, go get that money. Al's not going to do that. Al's
listen,
going to keep you right
one of,
there.
one of the most interesting one of the most interesting negotiations that took place within the PVC. That I bring it up sometimes, stuff like that, but it shows about what conflict of interest is, right? Like the Adrian Broner Sean Porter fight,
Yeah.
where this guy he has to pick an A side, and they made the A side Broner,
Yeah.
and they made this guy Porter give him 3 fucking pounds
Yeah.
for a guy who's big, because Broner he can't make 140. So they bring this guy and take away 3 pounds from him, and then Kenny Porter has to scream at the rest of it because they not only do they want to take away the 3 pounds, but then they wanted to put a rehydration clause
Mm-hmm.
into it. So these people don't talk about this stuff, but I remember all that shit. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
So that's a clear conflict of interest. But then, like I said, and I think you and we talked. As a matter of fact, I know that you and I talked about this before. In that, what makes them adhere to that? And you also brought up the whole when I said that networks are not the problem, and you said, well, yeah, because networks want you to be uh, um,
Exclusive.
exclusive to them. But again, I'm going to reiterate that networks are not the problem because the PBC is not exclusive to networks.
No, see, this is what's going on, right? This is what's going on. Adam Kovnowski is the perfect example of this, right?
Mm-hmm.
You got fighters that should be getting exclusivity deals from networks, right?
Mm-hmm.
That are not getting those deals. Now, you know who is getting
Yeah.
those deals? Al Heyman. He benefits from those deals. But normally it's like if Fox, let's say I'm Adam Kovnowski, right?
Uh-huh.
And Fox don't want me to fight on another platform. Okay, well, you got to pay me then, motherfucker.
Mm-hmm.
You got to guarantee me big cash.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, if somebody somewhere else offers me some money, I'm going to fucking go over there and I'm going to take it because I don't have an exclusivity contract with you. That's how it's supposed to be. With Al Heyman, you don't have the exclusivity contract. You don't have the big cash guarantee, but you still can't leave. They offered Adam $7 million for the Joshua fight. No,
Mm-hmm.
no, no. He's supposed to fight on FS1 against an opponent that has yet to be announced. They offer Luis Ortiz $7 million. No. We want more money. We want bullshit. You were on reserve for Wilder. That's what happened. You were on reserve for Wilder. All right. So you got guys that's missing out on money that's on the table, and they're not being compensated for it. Like you're not. Did you get $7 million from the Wilder rematch? Because if you didn't, you got fucked out of a lot of money. And you're an old heavyweight with a sick daughter. You could have used every single penny from that $7 million. I don't believe for a second you got $7 million from that Wilder rematch, because that shit didn't do no numbers, all right? No numbers. The issue, what makes it a conflict of interest, is Al is going to look out for the network that gives him a budget, not the individual fighter. He's going to make sure those fighters never stray very far away, because that's what the network wants. And the problem with that is, hey, aren't you their manager also? You're not supposed to be doing that. The promoter might do that, but not the fucking manager. You're supposed to be operating on your fighter's behalf. You're operating on the network's behalf. And these fucking guys, they go along with it. They just like, oh, you know, they're fighters. They're not lawyers. They don't know legalese. They don't understand. They're like, look, if Fox wants me to be exclusive to them, then pay me. It's that simple. Pay me. Give me a big contract. Anyway, fellas, on that note, it's fucking late. Going to sleep.
All right.
I think Alexis already fell asleep. I'll holler at you, man.